everybody
Hello.
on the internet, on the Twitch and the YouTubes. This is Waffle Talk. It's a show where we talk about Dice Camera Action, which is a long-running D&D show run by Chris Perkins, one of the great dungeon masters on the planet, and a crack crew of adventurers. Um, so today we're going to talk about episode 138. If you
38.
are watching on Twitch, and you can type stuff in the chat box, and it will appear on the screen right there. And we also have a thingy next to Shauna that will track any of your activities. Hey, look at
Oh,
Troopa.
it's this way.
Nice to
This
see you.
way.
Yes, that's right. Right there.
The opposite.
And that way, I can monitor your every move. Okay, so that's Shauna. Can you recap this
Yes,
episode?
they picked up from last time. They found the kids and they they attempted to steal the Scarlet Marpanoff, but unfortunately the gnomes who run the ship don't know how to run the ship well enough, I guess, and they submerged without closing the door, so it started flooding, and so that led to a majority of the adventure was trying to first, like, number one, try and like get try and recover the submarine, and then later on in the second half, escape the sinking submarine, who is the lost cause, and they face their probably their strongest adversary so far, which was a weird reflection of them, which was a door that was trying to help them and could not help them, and through its own suboptimal nature, stayed open and allowed the submarine to sink. So after that, they somehow all managed to escape with the children, who spent most of the time in a diving suit, like a Voltron of a diving suit. And then Strix, the children, Evelyn, and unconscious Evelyn get back to the house, are ported back to the house. Paulton swims out. Dieth swims out, but is attacked by some surfing drow, who are then taken care of by the friendly dragon that lives in the harbor, and that's kind of where we ended off. Jarlaxle has one less ship. There is still an owlbear running around doing who knows what on one of the other ships, and that's where we go.
Sima says, "Hi, Sima. At least we'll never be unsure about Passwall being a concentration spell or not. I should have looked that up. That was a thing that happened on the show.
Yep.
Strikes, the interior of the submarine is being flooded. Strix casts a Passwall, which creates a hole.
It is
And
not.
Holly kind of didn't realize that she was casting it on the shell of the ship. So that hole actually brought more water shooting in. And watching it, I should have looked it up. I guess it's not a concentration spell.
It's not a it's just a
It's not,
duration.
no.
Yeah. It's an
Yep.
hour.
And you can't
But
shut it off?
I thought that
Let's see.
I guess it was, I don't know if it's, I've always been home ruled that like your spells you can kind of end when you want to. You can kind of like power them out, but I guess that's something that I haven't had to deal with too many times because I haven't had too many things happen like that.
Yeah, it just says it lasts for the duration. I suppose if you use Dispel Magic on your own spell, I guess it would turn off.
Yeah.
But that's like mechanics of magic and how it all works, and that can hurt your head if you think about it too much, I think.
But now they know, though. Now they know that Passwall can create a hell trap of some sort. Like if you're out in space, or if they do this again, it's just like, guess what? Vacuum.
Although I do see here in the description for Passwall, it says it can create on a wooden, plaster, or stone surface.
Yeah.
And not metal.
Not metal. Yeah.
Okay,
ships. They can sink ships forever.
Yeah.
Just want to say hi to Phoenix. I know you can't watch, but thanks for jumping in real quick.
Yeah.
Hope everything's good over there in Japan. And Remises makes the same point that you do. Someone in chat pointed out that the spell shouldn't have been able to work on metal.
Yeah.
What was going on in this episode?
Maybe it was. I don't.
Did Chris seem more intense, or what? What the heck?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let me ask you. Here's something I actually wrote down. One of the first things I wrote down.
Mhm.
Now this is okay. This is a really hard thing in D&D, where you're in somewhere, and say you're underwater in a vessel, and there's a hole, and the water starts pouring in. This happened in our dragon heist. Like,
Did.
can you dive through that? Wouldn't it push you back? And
You push you up until you like rules, I guess, until it fills up enough where like the water's not rushing in.
okay,
And
but like, is there a chance you could dive into it?
If you're strong enough, I guess, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, because I know
you're
in our
built.
Dragon Heist game, I used like my psionic jump to jump through it. You
Yeah,
know.
'cause I think Evelyn could do it. I think Evelyn's probably strong enough to be able to do it.
Yeah.
How about the
Which
rest of them?
But
Strong
the
girl.
water was pouring through, and she was trying to close the hatch, and
Hmm.
like, so her first roll for her strength check is a
It's a
23, and
What's
that wasn't
her
enough. And it was like,
Mm,
but I think like really, really hard DCs is 25 the highest, or it might even be 30.
it could be 30.
could be 30.
So Chris went with 25,
Hmm.
and it was like,
I mean,
That's-
it
Evelyn,
was just like, I mean, I guess it, it is the whole ocean coming down and shutting it. I guess a 25, but she rolled really high. I was just like, whoa, this guy's not messing around today, you know?
I don't know. Part of me thinks even 25 is relatively high, because if you don't have like magic items like a belt of giant strength or something,
mhm.
25 is going to be literally the highest roll you can get. You need a nat 20 with
Yeah.
20 strength, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
She
And
you know what? Nate could have gave her bardic
Bard.
inspiration, right? Would that have
it's true.
helped?
That is true.
That's what she needed.
So it's a complicated like space. I can understand. There's like there's so much going on. It's that's one thing about like running spaces like that is like that's the one thing about the other mind. It's like when stuff gets really specific like that, it's hard to kind of like keep track of like necessarily where you are and what's going on at all times.
Hmm.
Everybody.
I was just like, I think I would have felt better if Chris had kind of. It's not the end of the world. I can see a 25. I can see a 30. But I think it would have been better in that instance to say, as you're approaching it, it's really coming down. The whole ocean is trying to fill your vessel. It
Yeah.
looks nearly impossible to be able to shut it, right? And I think
Yeah.
then she knows going in, and it's not quite such a surprise when you roll a 23 on a strength check.
Because I had this. I had the same reaction that Anna did. Was like, okay, good. Oh, 23. Got it. It's just like 23. Just like, oh no. Huh.
Jeez, there's a whole bunch of. All right, let me get through these comments here. Sima, it's not stated in the spell that you can end it, so technically it's just there. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work on metal in the raw version, but that's just dumb. It's a 5th level spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Troopa.
I agree too.
Look at Troopa says. I mean, aren't those pea fish a thing? What pea fish?
Oh, the what was it? The
fish that go up your urethra. I think he's
yeah. The yep.
What?
The
Pea fish.
You never.
That's
pea fish.
That's quite a
real.
It goes up your urethra. So
I am
I'm not going
surprised
in
that
the
you've
ocean.
never heard of this fish.
I'm never going in the ocean ever in my life.
Well, I think they live in the river, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, guess what?
Yeah.
Just clamp it shut, I guess. All right.
Good. Anyway.
Someone should invent like a helmet that'll block
Oh
that
my
from
God.
going in. Anyway, Sima. Chris was actually playing by the rules, but the crew made some bad calls and some bad rolls. They had a lot of bad rolls.
They had a bunch of bad rolls.
Yeah.
A million bad rolls.
I mean, I don't disagree that Chris is playing like strictly by the rules, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes as a DM you kind of have to play it fast and loose just to keep it fun, you know. You can't be too hard on the rules sometimes. I don't know. That's me personally.
I used to have a problem with that where I would clamp down too hard because I felt like I was being taken advantage of
Yeah.
sometimes. So then the
Yeah.
next session I would come in there with like a freaking sledgehammer, and
Mhm.
it was just not fun. And actually, I remember once. Yeah.
Let's see
All right.
this.
I don't want to tell. All right. Sima. Chris was playing by the rules. Yeah, right. Bad rules. Look at Troopa. They swim upstream to disastrous results.
Mhm.
I can just imagine. Well, couldn't you just pee them back out? Remises. I think the difference is more that Chris usually lets them get away with mistakes.
Mhm.
This time he didn't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And one of the things too is like Shauna said, like the gnomes didn't know how to really operate their own submarine, kind of, which was weird to me, like role playing wise.
What do you mean?
Self-preservation has to come into it. It's like dive. It's like, but we're in a
Yeah,
submarine.
we're in a submarine. Why would we... Also, they work for Jarlaxle, so why would they even listen to the crew? That's a whole nother
All right.
thing, though. You know.
There was instances where the place is flooding and the
Yeah.
drow were only focused on attacking the heroes,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though they're moments away from being.
But
I
it
do
seemed
see
like
that.
they had contingencies for
Hmm.
like they could water breathe. Like I don't think they were
Oh,
necessarily worried about the.
I see. Okay, so yeah, if they had, yeah, I got you. If they had water breathing,
Hmm.
those gnomes died so quick from the cloud kill.
That was not great up
Yeah.
for them.
Yikes.
Let's see.
They probably died
For
anyways with
talking
that.
psychics, if the hole is in the bottom of the physics. If the hole is in the bottom of the ship, let's see, the water wouldn't even come through it diving bell style. Really?
It was. It might have been tilted too. Like it was already sinking when Strix did that.
Hmm. True.
Remises says if the sub was pressurized, the water wouldn't have come through,
No,
but there was a
it was
vacuum
open.
created by air quickly leaving from the top of the sub. Really?
Hmm.
Yep,
Oh, is that how that
the
works?
sub was open.
Oh. I always
Yeah.
just have it where it's just like Sima. Just check the Dragon Heist module, and like I thought, I remembered the doors have a DC 25 to open.
Oh
However,
wow,
Chris did forget that it's an athletics check instead of a. Okay, all
Evelyn
right.
would have been. Evelyn has a
He should probably has a good athletics.
pretty good
Probably.
athletics.
He
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably trained in it. So.
and it's like,
Also,
go ahead.
can I say something about Dragon Heist? It has a lot of weirdly high DCs, and like stuff like Jarlaxle's armor class being
Yeah.
24 makes like no sense at all.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Because
Again,
the Waffle crew are going
but
way above what y'all like ran this in,
yeah,
which like what was it, fifth level,
fourth.
fourth, and like have 25 is like
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Well, when you have to consider 25 is the only things that's 25 AC are Tiamat and the Tarask. So why would
A helpful
like
door.
I know he has a bunch of magic items, but why would Jarlaxle have a 24 AC in any circumstance? Like more than Demogorgon or something, you know? It's
Yeah.
weird.
Although I've seen paladins that were around like for some unknown
Well,
reason have
yes.
like 24. It's just like this is your
My
level
party's paladin
6.
is 24.
You're level
So yes.
6 or 7. What are you doing with this?
The only reason I can think of is that they were hoping that that would prevent groups from slaughtering Jarlaxle. You
I
He
mean,
did it anyway.
yeah, you got a good punch on
um, look at Troopa. The fish are really the pea fish.
him. You open up.
They're called Candiru in case you want to use them in your
Don't
future
use them.
games. Well, I happen to have a pencil and paper.
No.
So, maybe
it's
we'll
like the
see.
throat leeches from Two of Annihilation, but maybe worse.
Just worse.
Sima says also on why the gnomes listened. There's an intimidation check set for getting them to listen to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe maybe the intimidation check didn't. They were too scared. They're too scared of Strix.
She is scary.
Yeah.
And another issue involving the hatch was, I think Anna kind of objected to the idea that they would recklessly separate the submarine from the top ship without making sure that that hatch was sealed,
Mhm.
which was just, you know, it was sort of like Chris was hatching a scheme.
Oh, nice.
Nothing? No? Okay. Simon says they really didn't want Jarlaxle to die. He's the only one that has an in-module resurrection out of all the villains.
Hmm.
The thing about it is,
Hmm.
that's an ancient D&D problem. I guess Gary Gygax, they made, like Legends and Lore, and he started getting letters from players and DMs
Mhm.
saying they killed everything in the books, and they
We
need.
couldn't stop them. They're too
And
powerful.
Gary
The
was
murder
like
hobos are too much.
shocked because he doesn't run his games that way.
Mhm.
And so he was stunned at, because nobody knew. The game was new, so everybody ran the game different.
Yeah.
And Monty Hall was a thing, where everybody would load up on magic items and just go slaughter everything.
Yeah.
So to this day, that's still, I would assume, a concern. And I think the thing about it is, I think if you're making an adventure, you can't worry too much about them killing Jarlaxle, because some groups are just going
It's
to
a
kill
campaign where there's
Jarlaxle.
a dead Jarlaxle, maybe.
If
I
it's
agree.
a bunch of 10-year-olds playing D&D, Jarlaxle's probably going to die.
You
They're
can't
just
stop them.
crazy, spazzy kids, or whatever, or people who are really into making super powerful characters and figuring out ways to kill people that shouldn't be killed. So Jarlaxle has a really high AC, but that doesn't, if you hit him with stuff that requires saving throws,
Yeah.
you're gonna have
That's
you're
true.
still gonna be able to do stuff to him,
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of like gets me about as all the Forgotten Realm stuff is like the important characters are pretty safe no matter what you do with them.
I agree. Like there was that Ak Inc. game where Benwin tried to kill Drizzt, and it didn't happen.
Mhm.
Even though that would have been really funny and awesome.
But what
It
if you
didn't
killed
happen.
Drizzt? It's your fault. Drizzt is dead now.
I killed Drizzt in Baldur's Gate 2, so
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
I have no.
In my campaign, Drizzt died in a prison.
He died in prison, right? Yeah.
My brother actually played him as a character and broke some laws and went to jail, and that was it. He never got out.
Well,
Um,
that's what happens.
Look at Troopa. It seems to me if a DM doesn't want to run the kind of game where important NPCs die, then that wouldn't happen. Right? Yeah.
It's true.
Although, as a DM, I don't think you ever really want to say, you don't want to say this person. It's weird to say this person can't die, and it's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
This person has merch that they can. We can't kill this character.
The fun of D&D is that anything can happen, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, when the players can tell when you're blocking them from doing something, and it kind of really ruins the game.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So, I mean,
I feel like a lot of the 5th edition modules have sort of had stuff like that. Like Mad Mage has Hallister being like, no matter what you do, he'll always come back, which I get that he has contingencies as an archmage and stuff like that, but that feels really weird to me that you go through that whole dungeon, get to level 20, and then it's just like, okay, but none of that matters because Hallister will just come back. Whatever. That's kind of weird after a whole campaign.
Yeah.
Sima. With how the turns went, wouldn't the order to leave have been about 12 to 18 seconds after the Clockwork Man reopened the hatch? I feel like that could be the reason why the gnomes didn't notice.
Yeah.
Look at Troopa. The closest in my group's gotten to deity slaying was that someone killed Gorelick, and he's considered a heavily powered demigod, I think. Just go the Elder Scrolls route and say the thread of fate gets severed when you off Drizzt. God's Dying is cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
God's Dying created the whole situation that Fourth was in. So yeah, you got some
Agreed.
some wild like repercussions for that stuff.
That was the whole thing with the Switch from first edition Forgotten Realms to second too, with the Time of
Mhm.
Troubles.
Mhm.
Like Baldur's Gate wouldn't be a thing if a god hadn't died, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It does have its perks, you know. Like I know in fourth edition they had Orcus going after the Raven Queen,
Mhm.
and second edition had Dead Gods with Orcus going after other gods, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So you know,
Yeah.
Sakes.
I got a bunch of notes here. The gnomes died very quickly, very easily.
I mean, Cloud Kill for a regular person's probably gonna take you out.
that's
So
true. Yeah.
in the beginning, I was kind of like, "Is Chris mad?" But there was a point where the drow attacked, and he did say that the poison washed off of their blades. So I'm like, all right, he's
Yeah.
not. He's not. This is not a vendetta. It's just whatever this is, you know.
Whatever.
And the kids try to get into the diving suit, and
Mhm.
and he's like, he's making them roll.
I mean, it's kind of funny if they try the first time. I thought it was funny when they tried again and they just like only Nat was like
Yeah.
with it's like, come on, guys.
So they failed to roll.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you tried
in the
saying it
diving
to us,
suit.
yeah, diving suit.
And I thought when I was listening to him describe it, I'm like, did the diving suit just get destroyed? I was like, what's going on here?
Oh my god.
What's Chris? But it didn't, and they got right in.
They got
And what I thought was really cool was when we
Mhm.
cast animate object on the diving suit while they were inside it.
yeah.
That was awesome.
That was good.
I love
No,
that
like that.
idea. That was an
Oh, yeah.
awesome idea.
Oh yeah.
So then they're just walking around, you know,
Or it's walking for them.
at the bottom.
They're still
That's really
one
cool.
for each limb.
Honestly, stuff like using animate object to do stuff like that is really freaking awesome.
Mhm.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sima, how are we going to sell all these cool feathered purple hats without Jarlaxle to advertise them?
Good point.
Good point. And the feather, you can summon a Diatrima.
Diatrima, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which are a real thing that used to live on Earth, I
Yeah.
found out.
Yeah, they are usurpers are
Yeah.
terrifying. The worst.
Oh,
Yes.
big birds.
Big birds.
Look at your boat. Deity's dying happened a bunch, just not usually by players' hands. Been meaning to run some Time of Troubles. This is why you use elemental homunculi instead of regular diving suits. I thought the diving suit was super cool. They all got in it, and it was funny. Chris kind of had it all set up. I think he had that idea, right? They were all the kids were in the room and they see the suit, you know.
Mhm.
And it's fun. It's a funny idea. It's like, what are they gonna do with the suit? And it's like kids in a trench coat, you know.
Yeah, like
Yes, exactly.
3 kobolds in a trench coat, yeah.
That's what it was
Exactly.
like. It was awesome. It was an awesome idea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then there was the pass wall under the feet of the drow. And
Mhm.
that one was
Well, that one went wrong.
To me, that one was I don't think Holly would have done that if she understood the layout. You know, and I think this is one of those times where theater of the mind kind of bites you in the butt. and it was like, you know, because she just I don't think she would have cast it on the bottom of the boat, you know. But
Yeah.
because the interior of those ships in that adventure are very hard to describe, especially the submarine. So like it's
Yeah.
just like
There's multiple levels just on that bridge, yeah. Like what was it, that main area where they were?
Yes.
This one I think needed an overhead map and a side view map.
Yeah, because you can be like
oh man, the
theater
side
of the
view.
mind, but yeah, just have like for reference, just kind of like just basic. Like you don't have to put yourself on a map, but like have the space there because it's like there's an area because there's a lot of you can't see this character like happening.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like if you had it's like okay.
Yeah, right. Or you can't hear them. There's a lot of that too. Or they're over there, you're over here. Right. Yeah, I think the entire session would have been completely different if they had some maps going.
Yeah. Or just for not even for play, just for like okay, this is where.
But overall, I prefer theater of the mind. And if I had to pick watching this show, using maps and not using maps, I would say not using maps because it goes quicker.
Yeah.
But in certain times, it's like
certain times, like for each depends on like on campaign also which ones. But yeah, as far as like for this type, I think Theater of Mind definitely is a huge benefit for it. I think it works better.
Mm-hmm. Simon says Diatrema are just chocobos, and you can't change my mind. Yeah, that's right. In our game, we did end up calling them chocobos, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, they are a different thing from what axe beaks are based off of, right? Yes. Chris told Holly she was casting it at someone standing on the lowest level, that she might open it up to the. Oh, he did.
Okay.
I missed that. She just thought she was going to be able to close it 6 seconds later.
Yeah.
I see.
Which is like one of those things when you're given like, I've definitely been guilty of that, given like something with like a ton of spells. It's like you use it's like, oh no. Oh no. I didn't think about it.
I would have made the same mistake because I don't think I would have realized that pass wall, you can't just turn it off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She tried to dispel it and failed, right?
Yeah. Because there's certain things where like there's certain like, each DM like runs their house where like you can like dispel your own spell whenever you want. Like it's not a concentration, but like not having a lot, because most of the spells have concentration, like so you're kind of like given, okay, I'll just kind of like free action like dispel it, and you kind of get in that mode, and it's like when something like this happens, it's like, oh no.
Look at Troopa, you're right. It's all in the past wall now.
Oh no.
It's true.
Goodness.
It's completely true. Water under the submarine.
Well, it's all over. Well, water in the submarine and out of the submarine.
Wait, no! They're on the bridge of the ship. Water under the bridge.
Encompassing the bridge.
Over the bridge. All over the bridge. Maybe.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
The bridge is water.
Remisis says, is Jarlaxle's mechanical servant as good question, as strong as the modules?
Yeah, that seemed like a brutal like construct. So like it took down Evelyn.
With his 3 attacks, he seemed like the biggest challenge the group had faced in a while. Though I think he was using the exact nimble right stats. They have a high bonus to hit, and they do a nice little bit of damage.
Yeah, 3 attacks is a lot, no matter what. Like, it can like wear you down.
Yeah, just stab, stab, stab.
Well, it's like you're just like, it's just fishing for like a crit, like with Anders.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And and that was the other thing. Chris's dice were on fire.
Yeah, like 20s. Like that nimble right rolled so high every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I felt bad for Anna on this one.
Yeah.
She was sick. She couldn't close the hatch.
Yeah.
She got stabbed to death by some robot.
She tried so long for that door.
Yep. She never got it.
Jarlaxle.
Yeah.
Just some robot.
She got stabbed and immediately began drowning.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, because she's wearing plate mail probably.
Oh yeah, she would sink.
Right, she sank right to the bottom, and I'm like, Dieth's gonna dive down there and not be able to pull her up.
Dieth, poor Dieth with his 8 strength, his poor boy. You just can't.
But then I was thinking, but Dieth can keep her alive with mouth to mouth.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess.
And then
I don't think
we got some dice camera drama.
Mm.
The first seeds. Wonderful. But how did he get her out? Was he able to just pull her out of the water?
I don't remember.
I think that was when they did the recall, right? She was still unconscious when Strix recalled.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, they were.
Because it was like, oh no, we have to do this. Like it's like, yeah, once with those type of enemies, like once Evelyn is down, it's like you have to get out. None of them can.
So yeah,
Kenny dodge.
Strix casts Word of Recall.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't get everybody, but she got all the kids.
Yeah.
Evelyn and herself.
Yeah.
But Simon refused to go.
Stay with his dad.
Stayed.
Madman.
Simon refused to go. I don't know. What do you think about that, Simon refusing?
Well, I mean, he does care about Paulton, you know.
Paulton, yeah.
But couldn't. Okay. Well, that brings up a question.
Yes. No.
Simon's mom was
Mhm.
hurt bad.
It's true.
And you could have framed it as Simon, go protect your mom.
Mhm.
But when left to his own devices,
He always.
Simon just wanted to stay with Paulton.
Mhm.
It's true.
What does Simon think of Evelyn?
You know, based
think,
on the
yeah.
episode where him and Squidly stole the gun, I think he sees her as someone who's very easy. Like with any kid, honestly, I think with some people,
Yeah.
it's easy to get away with things
It's like
around them.
like a pushover. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
she's
It's like whatever.
you'll get initially like in trouble, but it's just like you're not gonna like it's
Yeah, exactly.
the
You'll get a
extremely
stern
light
talking to,
discipline,
but
yeah.
no real punishment or anything.
Paulton just lets him do whatever he wants, and it's not
Yeah.
even he doesn't even have to like pretend like he's
Simon says it's all in the past and just another brick in the wall. Mm-hmm. Remisis says, and Evelyn had just realized Jarlaxle wasn't really her friend. You're right, and had just listened to him insult her son.
Yeah, it's like Jarlaxle's like not a bad guy, and actually he's just like that person that decided to get butt into like a family conversation. It's like, no, I think you should take care of these people this way. And so like it's like you stay out of this.
You know, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Remisis says that Chris had allowed Dieth to pull her out of the water. No check? You just did it? Sima. Dieth came a long way from being beat by an invisible servant. Yeah, he got beat by a broom. I think that was the low point for him.
Yeah. Hey,
in front of an audience.
Let him forget. Never let him forget, ever.
It's not his fault. Yeah. And it was really funny, actually.
Yeah.
Simon does seem to care more about Paulton than Evelyn. Yeah. I don't know if Simon shares your ship. Dieth and Evelyn. I don't think Simon. Simon is just Paulton's. He looks up to Paulton.
Yeah.
That's it. Right?
They like enable each other, which is maybe not great.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Just Simon and Paulton.
Yeah.
I think Simon would gladly ditch the group to go. If Paulton left, Simon would just go with him.
I agree.
Yeah.
That'd be it. I don't know. Okay, wait. Ravenna, how you doing?
Great.
Has he ever even said? Do you mean Simon? No, Simon doesn't talk about that kind of stuff, really, right?
I think the only time the only time he brought it up was like he was kind of annoyed that like the two like ships were happening and it's like no one's doing anything and it's like
he did. That's right.
Yeah.
He's like, you're right.
She just
episode where he first became a bully.
Yeah.
Jarlaxle is not evil. Is that true?
It's true.
I don't think he's like his stuff. He's selfish, but I don't think like it's not evil.
He's the only villain in Dragon Heist that's not lawful evil. I think. Yep.
Xanathar is lawful evil?
Yeah. And the Castlanters are lawful evil, and Manchun's lawful evil.
And Manchun, yeah.
Yeah.
Manchun's cool.
He is. I agree. I don't think I had an appreciation for him before I really looked into it with Dragon Heist. He's pretty cool.
I think he needs a redesign, like the way he looks. He should look more like Darth Maulish, you know. Give him a really cool.
Okay. My God.
Give him more of a cool look. I think his stock will soar, you know. Look at Troopa. The ship I was referring to was Paulton Evelyn. Oh.
Yeah.
Simon's not. Could see that. Remisis. Simon may also feel more of a kinship towards Paulton due to their shared dark Barovia history.
Possible.
Very true. Hey, you know what? Didn't Simon live in Barovia with Strix for 50 years?
She did, yeah. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
But it seems like Simon is much more attached to Paulton.
Yeah.
I think it might be partially that Paulton just interacts with Simon more too, so the NPC just kind of organically has more to do with him.
Did you guys ever see Let the Right One In?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
That the vampire in that movie, slight spoiler, is a kid.
Yep.
But the kid's been alive for a long time, but is never able to go through puberty or whatever.
Yeah.
So Simon, in a way, is sort of like that kid from Let the Right One In,
I can see it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kid was linked to one person and
Yeah,
one helper, and that was it. So
yeah,
maybe Simon's a vampire. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, sure, why not?
That would be awesome, actually, if Simon
Yeah.
became a vampire. I would really like that.
Oh my, that actually would be pretty cool.
Tiny vampire.
That would be really cool.
Yes.
I'm just imagining little Simon dressed up like a stereotypical vampire now.
Yeah, right? Simon! You're right, Simon. Paulton just openly said he didn't care about finding his chair.
Yeah.
Strahd von Cherevich. He said it's just a prop. I'm here for the kids. You are right, Simon.
Yeah. Because I think he's never been. He said he loves the chair, but like he hasn't done a lot of things like where it's like he chooses the chair over people or something like that. Like I think it's just like, yeah.
That was a thing this episode. That really was.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first time he's, I think, really, really, and there was no question about it. He's just like, I don't care about the chair.
He's also Paulton's probably also super probably irritated that like Jarlaxle kind of put his like kind of like mushed his face into it, like, oh, you love this chair more than like me. It's like, I didn't say it.
Right.
It's like, how dare you?
Wow. I still think Jarlaxle made a very big mistake by just using the chair as leverage. Like that.
It's like this chair. They found this chair. It's not even like a special chair. It's like, yeah, like you said, it's a prop. It's a prop in like a theater thing he thought was cool.
Yeah.
He had chair fights with it. How much did he love that chair? He had a chair fight with it.
It's true.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Ravenna. Ravenna calls BS on Jarlaxle not being evil.
I mean, it depends on like what from like I'm not as aware of like the book dealing, but like it seems like depend on what book it's.
No, that's also true. Yeah,
that's protagonist like kind of like helpful or kind of like semi-antagonist. So it's just kind of like.
And I think based on that too, I think he's definitely evolved from like his original sort of, I'm the foil to Drizzt, I'm supposed to be kind of dark and whatever, to more of a dude who has his own sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Less of an interest in some things that he used to, more like, because he's friends with 2 bronze dragon sisters or whatever. I don't think an evil person really would be in the scheme of metallic dragons all being good,
Yeah.
That whole thing. But
it's interesting that Jarlaxle and Paulton are both chaotic neutral.
They're
very different people. And I would agree, actually, with Ravenna. I would call BS on that, too. I think Jarlaxle, as he is on this show, is definitely evil.
I don't think he's evil. I think
kidnap kids.
I think he's a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, those kids were...
Because
I had to agree with them. They're not safe with the Waffle crew.
It's true. But they're not safe with him. He doesn't care about those kids.
At the end of the day, no. But
at the end of the day, no. But
like, it's no skin.
They've almost died a whole bunch of times.
It's a very, I don't know. This goes into the whole alignment argument, which has always been kind of weird in D&D.
Beyond the thing that's circular, like it comes back once in a while. It's like, I personally don't really care too much.
Me either. Saima. I thought he was this old dude, but Manchun looks strangely young and handsome.
Well, let me tell you, it's because he's a clone of the original Manchun. And also, this man Shun was down in, he was down in Undermountain with Hallister for at least since 4th edition. So, who knows what he could have done down there too.
Who knows?
I love it when people new to D&D come into the chat.
Yeah.
And I immediately want to talk about, explain D&D to them for like 20 minutes. But we don't have 20 minutes. Milk Crate, real quick. How realistic is this game? Depends on who you're playing with. It can be.
It varies.
Everybody has their own style. You
Mhm.
get yourself and a couple other people, and you all just kind of play the type of game you want to play. It could be goofy, it could be serious. It depends on you. Are there any version that's more realistic I could play as myself or just a regular dude? Heck yeah, you could play as
There's
yourself.
so many other deep
But I mean, if
Yeah.
D&D is a fantasy game, so usually it's set in a fantasy world. I mean, if you want to play yourself in the real world, there's other games like D&D that might fit better. I don't know, Call of
Mhm.
Cthulhu, maybe.
Call of Cthulhu would work. Monster of the Week.
Monster of the Week, yeah.
And
Although
I'm sorry.
D&D, it does make me think of like the D&D cartoon where it's just kids who go into this fantasy world, or even the Forgotten Realms originally were supposed to be like linked to Earth via portals.
There is Mountain Dew. Well, who
Mountain
likes
Dew,
Mountain Dew? Like Elminster likes Mountain Dew.
Elminster likes Mountain Dew. Yeah.
But yeah, Milk Crate. There's all sorts of other role-playing games like D&D, depending on what you want. You could play D&D and just make yourself. Here's what happened though. In real life, I once said a long time ago in high school, I said to my friends, "Let's all make ourselves. This is going to be awesome, right?"
That is a
What
terrible
happened
trap to fall
was
into.
I had my one friend who was like the clumsiest person in the universe, right? On our step we had one stoop, right? And he walked off of it and fell into a bush and disappeared, right? And he actually fell down his stairs while we were playing D&D. He's like, "Who wants some more root beer?" And we're like, "Well, I do." And then you hear like, "Whoa!" And he falls down the stairs. We're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Happens all the time, you know." And so it comes time for him to make his stats. He gave himself a 16 dexterity because of his hand-eye coordination.
It's the trap of like no one can accurately judge themselves.
Yeah.
It's like you get to the point where like either they're too good or it's like there's a self-esteem thing where it's like you're not good, but you are good at this. It's like,
oh yeah, I have a 3 charisma.
That's the other half of it. Is like a lot of my friends were like, "I'm ugly. I have a 3 charisma." And they got like all depressed.
oh,
And
it's
I'm like,
like
"All right."
if you don't say anything, it's like, guys, back me up on this. I'm higher, right?
So what ends up happening is at that point I'm like, all right, we're just not going to do that because it was just like I opened a huge can of worms. But what I did do later when I did actually run people playing themselves was I said just make a version, an alternate universe version of yourself.
Yeah.
And that kind of solved it. It's not
Yeah.
you, it's just someone from an alternate universe who's just looks like you or whatever, and just give your stats whatever,
Mhm.
and that seemed to solve that. But yeah, Milk Crate, and you can get most D&D stuff. You don't really need to pay much money. You might need dice. Other than that, they have the rules online for free.
Yeah, they have the free rules that
You could go on Amazon and get the starter set. It's like probably $15, something like that. And that has everything you need to start. And if you like it, you could buy more stuff. But yeah, sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I love talking. I love explaining D&D.
Yeah.
It's fun. Lucas Trooper. I wonder how Magnus feels about Paulton talking about the chair that way. What? What wasn't the chair from Play or something?
Yeah.
A Ravenloft?
It was, but Magnus is very passionate about carpentry.
Save some children for the
You know what? Magnus would probably make him a new chair, a much better chair.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
Sima, I feel like Magnus would agree valuing the lives of kids over furniture.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Trainers, whoa, Sima. Trainers also love their Pokemon, and the chair fight is based on a Pokemon battle.
Okay.
Whoa. Look at Troop. A lot of Jarlaxle's more evil-seeming characterization might also stem from the fact that some people still hang on to the idea that chaotic is soft evil.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I
Yeah,
never heard that before.
Yeah.
I agree on
Chaotic,
that one.
chaotic is soft evil. And so, what is lawful then?
Well, see, the way I see it, like a lot of people seem to go, "Oh, lawful, I'm following the law. That's good."
What if the laws are bad?
And I know, what if the laws are bad? Because lawful can be good like that. It can be, angels in Mount Celestia and stuff, but it can also be Modrons who will trample over your house
Or
because
devil.
of some ancient law, or it could be devils wanting to basically be super fascists, just like chaos can be, freedom of expression and creativity with chaotic good
Sometimes you have Slod.
through the whole spectrum. Well, even Slod, I think, are like they have potential to be Slaughter weird, but
Slod are weird. Yeah.
They're
they have potential.
violent.
There's bad chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Slot are
mean,
very violent.
Slod, but a Slod can be violent, but they can also be, I'm gonna tiptoe around these flowers because I think they're pretty,
They got
and then
that little tiny
I'm gonna
bit.
run over here and open someone's head onto the concrete because I
They
don't
have
know.
that tiny bit of law in them, right? From the whatever the Slod.
The spawning
rock.
stone.
Yeah.
And then you also have demons who are chaotic evil. And
Yeah.
I mean, even demons, like, they're all looking out for themselves and are incredibly selfish, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't be friends with them,
Mhm.
Because some demons aren't going to really. Simon makes a good point. People play slots too much like demons sometimes.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
That was something about 4th edition I did not like, but that's
Mhm.
completely, I think chaotic definitely gets a bad rap a lot of the time,
Mhm.
because it's not necessarily a bad thing to have freedom and stuff like that, but it can also devolve into anarchy and bad stuff like that, just like law can devolve into
Yeah.
stagnancy and all that
Depending how
nonsense.
you go, yeah.
Chaotic could be like a hippie living
Yeah.
off the land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they could turn into the Unabomber
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
who lived in a shed.
Did.
He sent bombs to people. Simon, Sima says, also kidnapped a kid. Evil Light. TM.
That's true.
Diath killed a kid.
That's true.
Yeah, that is very true. He sure did.
We're on.
Let's see. Milk. Okay. And Milk Crate. Oh, they play at the card store near me too. Well, that's a
Nice.
really good way to learn the game. Although, and the thing about the game Milk Crate is the game is only as good as the people you're playing with. You know what I mean? It's only going to be fun if the people you're playing with are fun. So if you go to the card store and one of them's annoying or whatever, try not to let them ruin the game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the thing about going to a game store is a lot of times you meet really awesome people. So might be worth checking out. Sima. People play slots too much. Oh right, yep, got that. Ravenna, it's probably just from people using chaotic good to play. Oh what? What? I don't understand.
Let me see what.
Cleanliness product? Alright. You guys are all spicy today.
I know, right?
What's going on here in this chat?
Man.
Well, you living life to the fullest today. Pretty good. I approve. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sima, the difference between the hippie chaotic and the Unabomber, the hippie chaotic and the Unabomber
Reverse
chaotic.
now.
Basically,
These are
do
the
they
new
get the
alignments.
ultra powerful evil ring or not?
It's true. Yeah.
The Unabomber didn't get caught for a long time.
Oh yeah, I know.
I agree.
Oh man.
He did his own thing. Ravenna,
Oh.
you're still talking about the cleanliness product?
I
One with a
see what you're saying.
bag?
Going.
Catch my
Oh no, we
meaning?
let.
I
Oh
get
no.
People using chaotic as an excuse to play characters who are definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic neutral is the one you gotta. At least in good, they're gonna try a little
Yeah.
bit. Chaotic neutral is gonna be like you gotta watch that.
Although I've had that happen with paladins in lawful good too. At
Yeah,
times.
I mean, yeah,
So
it just depends.
that's
Like, yeah,
that is totally player thing.
Look up. Oh, you've just had pea fish on your mind. All right.
You might want to get that checked out.
I'm gonna have a nightmare about it tonight, probably. I've been falling asleep to Teddy Roosevelt's book that he wrote about the Rough Riders. And,
Oh.
something tells me I'm gonna have a dream about Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh
Pea
my
fish.
god.
please don't. Oh my god, that's a nightmare.
I don't know what this means, Simon. They bang. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at Troop.
What is this?
Look at Troop. Wow. Pea fish, mind
Everybody-
flayer, tadpoles.
Ew.
DM's Guild product. Get ready.
Oh no.
Make it happen. That's amazing.
Oh, no.
Amazing. Well, we're just about out of time.
On that note.
Anyone? Yeah. Anything else you want to cover about the show? Did we miss anything?
Yeah.
What about the dragon and the pirate ship?
Oh, Zelfarn?
Anything?
Oh, our helpful friend.
Mhm.
Helpful friend. Gold.
Zelfarn's a good boy. I'll say that.
Like, I mean, that submarine probably, it's in his space. He needs to defend his territory a little bit if he needs to.
Yeah.
Ooh, Remises.
How many weeks do we have until Descent? Like a month.
I think they said episode 143 on the subreddit.
There's not that much time. There's actually not. Like, they got 3 or 4 episodes for that thing goes.
And I think 151 is the last episode of the season. So.
Oh, and so people in the chat, when the Descent comes around, I'll be doing a show every day to cover the Descent. I'll probably also be writing summaries of, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them.
Don't do that to yourself. Don't do all of them. I think they might have. Seems like they might have more things.
And you can see me live tweeting most of it on Twitter. So come see that.
Yeah, definitely something to see. So if you watch any of them, you can come tell us what you thought. Especially if I miss one each day, then I'll definitely want to hear a little bit about what people thought about stuff.
Yeah, unless you're gonna do what they did to y'all like last time, which is like announce the second big book.
Yeah.
At the end of it, and it's like, oh
yeah,
like midnight.
That was cool. That was
cool. It was just like it happened like right.
I know.
Directly before that show.
That was really. I really like that they do these things every year. I think it's really
cool.
It's
nice.
And it's really cool when it's like the web DM people are going to be there, and Lisa is going to be there, like people we know. And it's just like it's really fun. I'm really looking forward to this one. They should invite also Kelly the Opera Geek. She should also be there. So I don't know, maybe hopefully sometime in the future they'll bring her too.
It definitely seems like they're getting bigger. So
Remises says, since Chris said he expected the episode to end with the crew having their own sub, I wonder whether he had something planned for them to do where they needed it, like exploring the shipwreck, or maybe the sub was intended to be their new home. Oh, now that the Waffle House is so close.
Oh, let's be real. That submarine would have suffered the same fate as the Waffle House. It's limited. Like its life would have been limited. Like the second they got a hold of it.
That would have been really cool if that was their new home. The sub. Yeah. But it seems like that's just not going to happen.
No, they have not treated their homes well.
The thing about it is, okay, so if you have a sub, you have a house, where do you park the sub?
Where do you park
in the harbor?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a houseboat at that point.
Yeah.
He's been throwing this dragon at them multiple.
I know.
It's a cool, friendly dragon. It's a cool dragon.
Yeah, and like they've never interacted with it. It's weird.
Their loss.
Yeah.
The dragon's cool.
Oh, Simon says Sarah more pieces for the pea fish. Yes.
I hate it.
I'm having thoughts, but I'm not saying.
Don't think you don't go to don't.
Please don't use that in our
watch. You have to watch something before you go to sleep. Don't let that be. Let these go through your head.
Yes, Remises says it's too bad that the DCA EPs won't have a live audience since the studios are so small. I get a little when there's an audience, I get focused on the audience's reactions, and it makes me nervous. So I kind of like it when there's not an audience, just because I don't know, just is like a. It's just it bothers me if they don't laugh, or they're
Hmm.
not into it. I start to get distracted. Like, why? What's going on? Why don't they like this? And then I get worried that the people playing are going to think that, and then it's going to throw them off.
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, when you get a good crowd like a lot of the Acquisitions Inc. shows, it helps tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Look at Troopa. I think I should be able to catch all of it. Holy cow, the whole thing.
Very nice.
All right,
Nice.
I'm gonna do this. Mad Max style. The cosplay is usually awesome.
Oh yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Hello, Uncanny Adventures, with your Buckaroo emote. Ravenna, the cosplay is usually awesome at again, Subway. I'm making a sort of resolution to start getting into D&D video stuff. Once the descent. Oh, cool. Making it. Awesome
Nice.
looking
Yeah.
Very
Troopa.
nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
Uncanny Adventures. I love the dragon. Yes, the bronze
The
dragon.
dragon is.
Oh, Simon. It turns you into a
God damn it.
Pelitid. Then look at Trooper. You're encouraging it. Okay. Pelitids. And their more powerful version, Urinithurids. Okay.
We're gone for 1 week, and this is what.
There we go. We're done. We've another episode. Ravenna. Oh, park the submarine house at Subway.
Yeah.
That was the
okay.
joke.
Waterdeep's favorite restaurant.
Oh.
All right. All right, we got to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody in the chat for awesome chat. If I had to grade this chat, I would give it 101 out of 100. So thank you all very, very much. It makes the show a bajillion times better. And Milk Crate, I hope you check out D&D, and I hope you like it. Shauna, you got any plugs you want to plug?
Yeah, I have a lot of shows this weekend for this next schedule, so I'll be putting that on my Twitter as far as a pin tweet. I have to work on that right as soon as things have another show. So, in addition to Hell's Rebels on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on this channel on Power Square RPG, this channel is on Friday on kind of roleplay is Judge Dredd at 5:00, and then on Sunday on Pro Restarter's channel, and we're going to be trying out the cipher system for the first time in Afrofuturism, the phase. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be this next couple months is going to be just hard swings as far as tone, because I have our like Band of Brothers
Greyhawk
thing on
forever.
Monday. It's like it's real, like it's like the latter half of Band of Brothers was kind of beat up. Then it's like Witch Girls, which is like happy teenagers, and then it's like Judge Dredd, which is like it's got some real strange swings.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Dylan, you got any plugs?
I do. Hey, on Saturday on this channel, you can come watch us play Dungeon of the Mad Mage, where we're going to finish up level 1 by the sounds of it. Last time we played, my character went through a portal that our kobold Hallister behind, and my character has a shard of Hallister's soul and is having weird visions of Undermountain, and I'm sure it'll be great. So come watch.
It will be great.
Oh, good. All right. Excellent.
I'm hearing all these weird noises, and I don't know where they're coming from. I don't have Sirenscape on. I don't know what these noises are. So, yeah, this weekend we'll be doing a few games on Saturday. 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing Dungeon of the Mad Mage. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing Hell's Rebels. And then Sunday at 6:30, we'll be doing Dungeon Academy. The last Dungeon Academy, they requested their own beach episode, like on Dice Camera Action.
You got an education on what a beach episode was.
So I went on TV tropes, and I just looked for beach episode tropes, and I lumped them all into one show. And it was pretty cool. And Strahd is now a member of the crew, so
oh no,
we got all sorts of cool stuff going. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Really appreciate it. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.